All right, welcome back to Double Fries No Slaw. Breaking news and elite news for the Seminoles as they land a 5-star commitment from Chauncey Kennon, a cornerback out of Booker High School in Sarasota, Florida. We have previewed this. We've talked about it. We spoke with Zach Blostein, which I'll play some of that here in just a moment. But this is a huge win for the Seminoles and Mike Norvell. Miami involved, Florida involved. Florida State now has the best defensive back of any of those three schools committed to their program right now. And the Seminoles, coming off of a 2-10 season, I hate to echo that, but let's call a spade, have put together a recruiting class that is better than I think any of us could have predicted. They're solidly in the top 10 right now. Can they finish there? It might be the ceiling for them around that 10 spot, but a really, really good class put together by the Seminoles so far. Do we have areas where we could see it? Sure. Yes, absolutely. But we're not going to spend any time on any of that negativity right now. This was a huge pull for the Seminoles. And honestly, as much drama as you like in recruiting, which maybe Florida State fans would say, hey, listen, we're done with drama. We would just like things to be kind of cut and dry. There was not a lot of drama here. This was not one that you were, I mean, you always get those butterflies right at the last second, like, oh man, could we be getting trolled again or what? There was no drama here. He was projected to Florida State. He had crystal balls in and predictions from all over the place. We told Discord about this weeks ago. This was not even a very dramatic. This was the Seminoles all the way from start to finish. And that feels really good. Now, does it feel really good to surprise some people and get some that are unexpected? Yes, it absolutely, that side of the coin is great. But there was no drama here. This was a heck of a job by Pat Surtain, Mike Norvell, and this staff to get this done. Phenomenal recruitment, one that they absolutely honed in on, and yes, all credit in the world to the Seminoles. Talk more about that in a moment. Physical profile, he's about 6'1 and a half, 6'2", between 170, 175 pounds, lanky frame, long arms, and truly elite athleticism. Ideal for a lockdown quarterback in press man coverage. 247 Sports has him ranked as a 5-star, the number 27 overall player in the country, number 2 cornerback, and the number 6 prospect in Florida. Again, a 5-star per their rankings. On3 has him at number 40 overall. He's their number 5 cornerback. He's number 6 overall in the state of Florida. ESPN, again, top 50. He's number 48 overall, the number 5 cornerback overall in the 2026 ESPN 300. His industry and his composite rankings, a little low because Rivals has him as like 268 or something. I'm wondering how On3, the Rivals merger blend, will impact that. Do the rankings start to adjust a little bit? Rivals, though, their rankings specifically are quite an outlier. When he is maybe re-ranked through their system or with the On3 merger, I'd expect that to come up considerably. However, still a top 50 player, number 46 overall in the On3 industry, and number 5 cornerback overall, according to that metric as well. In high school as a junior, he had 33 tackles, 23 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble, 16 pass breakups. He had an interception return for a touchdown. Booker High School went 10-4 and got to the Florida 3A state semifinal. Offensively, also played on that side of the ball. He had 10 receptions for 317 yards, 6 touchdowns as well as a wide receiver. One performance had 3 catches for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 64-0 win over Lely High School. He's a 2-way star with elite speed and ball skills. His track running sister at FSU highlights his athletic lineage. His length and agility make him a prototype for an elite corner, often deterring quarterbacks from targeting his side of the field. Held over 20-plus offers from just every SEC school you can imagine: Alabama, Auburn, Florida, LSU, Ole Miss, Penn State in there, Michigan, Miami, Oregon, just a list of elite programs. Narrowed his list down to 6 schools: Florida State, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Miami, Oregon in April, and set his commitment date for today. And again, there just really wasn't a lot of drama there. Streamed live by YouTube's 247 Sports channel, and just moments ago made that commitment official to Florida State. I spoke with Zach Blostein last week, end of the week, about how big of a win this is for the Seminoles, and credit to Pat Surtain. Here was Zach's answer when I asked about those two things specifically. how big of a win is it? And then, Pat Surtain, I mean, is he the best recruiter on the staff, and that's kind of undeniable at this point?
Yeah, I mean it's a big win. They like if they're able to get that land Chauncey Kennon, he'd be obviously the top ranked prospect in their class. He'd be the second 5-star player if he finishes as a 5-star. He's ranked as one right now to join Mike Norvell's program at Florida State during his now going on 6-year tenure. Right, Hakeem Williams is the other one. So yeah, I mean it'd be a pretty like historic win for Norvell. And yeah, I mean, Pat Surtain has done a really good job of recruiting that position during his time at Florida State. That was a good forward thinking hire. I think a couple of years ago when they added him to the staff. Thing that goes I think a little bit overlooked with him is just how well he's developed those players. Right, like Renardo Green and Jarian Jones in that year under him in 23 like turned into just excellent players, right? And now they're both killing it in the league. Um, I don't even know that Pat's the I wouldn't describe him as like a grinder on the recruiting trail. He's not a guy that's like calling these kids every day. But I think just his presence, that's not to say he doesn't communicate with his top targets. He still does, but his presence, the guys he's coached, his son, obviously, that's we hear recruits bring that up all the time. That he's got his son's the best DB in the league, and arguably the best DB in the league, and he, I think that has an impact. So yeah, I mean he's one of their better recruiters, and I think obviously landing Chauncey Kennon would go a long way towards vaulting up to maybe be their top recruiter on staff.
I liked what Zach said about the development. It's not that Pat is this, Florida State fans will remember Tim Brewster, who was just like relentless on the trail and just this ace recruiter, dagger type guy. That's not necessarily Pat's mantra. It's like you want to come here and get developed and go to the league and ball out. And you look at Renardo Green and Jerry Jones, and then you look at Azariah Thomas and the development that happened there. And you look at, like you said, what he's done with his son, and it is just a very straightforward approach of like, hey man, I'm gonna get you in here. This is DBU. We're gonna get you in, and you're gonna be really good one day in the league if you come in and apply yourself and become a good pro. And I really admire that. You don't necessarily have to be. Now again, he communicates well, and I think his presence is one that a lot of kids are drawn to. But I also think that like there's a lot to be said for just hey, this is not about something flashy or showy. You're going to come in here and you're going to work, and we're going to get you to the league, and you're going to get paid a pretty good amount, right? I think that's a big deal. And obviously, Zach mentioned it too, that Kennon is now the top-rated recruit in FSU's class, one of the top rated recruits in anyone's class, right now. And that's pretty impressive to be able to land him. As far as a scheme, defensively, Kennon's elite coverage skills, his length, his physicality align perfectly with what Florida State will try to do with a 3-3-5 system under Tony White and obviously defensive backs coach Pat Surtain. His 16 pass breakups, his interception for a touchdown showcase his ability to lock down receivers in press man or potentially cover 3 type roles. He is a cornerstone of FSU's secondary strategy. Versatility will allow him to play in that safety role and that nickel role if needed, but certainly think that his specialty, his expertise is going to be kind of that lockdown corner. That's what he projects as. Certainly going to be the guy that you're going to want shadowing top receivers and disrupting passing games. His ball skills, his physicality make him a complete defender, while the offensive experience also suggests that you could certainly have kind of special teams contributions and maybe some offensive packages. I don't know that that's how Florida State would look to use him, but you certainly could use him in a variety of ways outside of just as that lockdown corner that every defense, right, in Florida State especially needs. Joins other defensive backs in this secondary. I believe he's the 5th defensive back in this secondary. It really has been a really good class for Florida State back there on the back end, and they continue to to recruit really well in the secondary, right? As much as you want to complain about recruiting or this, that, and the other, I get it. Their secondary recruiting has been really good, and a lot of that has to do with Pat Surtain and what he's been able to do. Florida State's class, solidly top 10 right now. The blue chip ratio continues to rise on the 247 Sports composite, and because he is the highest rated commit in the class, this is a massive win for Mike Norvell and their staff. They only strengthen what was already a really, really good recruiting class. His commitment follows a June surge of 10-plus pledges, including guys like Devin Carter and Jaden O'Neal, others that we've talked about here on the channel, and really caps off what has been a very good month and a half of recruiting for Florida State. I don't expect them to be done. I think this is going to be a large class. I think they'll continue to add here. So make sure that you're locked in with the channel and you don't miss any updates. But again, today, as we celebrate a massive, massive win for the Seminoles as they pick up a 5-star in Chauncey Kennon. And I think that, you know, if you start to see some other positions continue to be rounded out, this could end up being one of Mike Norvell's better classes. I think it's got a chance to finish as his best class. Coming off of a 2-10 season, I don't think any of us expected that. You got to take care of business on the field, got to keep these guys locked in. We say it every time. Yeah, the commitment's nice, but the signature is ultimately what matters. Feel really good about where Florida State is with this recruitment long-term. Need to make sure that they're doing the same at other places as well. Always really nice to get a win over your in-state rivals. Florida State, the farthest program in-state of the big three from Kennon. They still were able to pick him up and get him to commit. So got to hold on to him, but a big win for the Seminoles. Make sure you're locked in with the channel. Make sure you're over on the Discord if you haven't already. Go to patreon.com/DFNS to get links to everything there and join and sign up today. We appreciate you guys for joining. Let's get some Go Noles down in the comments, and we will talk to you soon here on Double Fries No Slaw.